Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Confluence State Today. I am Mimi Aderibibe, and as usual, we'll bring you up to speed with happenings in Kogi State, looking at Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo's activities in recent times and his giant strides as the governor of the state and other developmental activities that have defined the growth and progress of our dear Kogi State. These are the highlights of what to expect today. Kogi State government signs new contracts to guide against erosion across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. We will take you on a trip to some of the erosion sites and also show you some efforts of the state government to mitigate it. Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo visits Ububuro community, reiterate commitment to safety of lives and property and fulfillment of electoral promises to the people. And we'll be speaking to the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, on the plans of the Usman Ahmed Ododo government for his ministry and the education sector of the state. We have details of these and more in a moment. Whenever the rivers Niger and Benue decide to overflow their banks, or when the rainy season hits, erosion becomes a real headache for residents of coastal communities. But now, there is succor on the way as Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo and his team have decided to tackle erosion head-on by awarding contracts to combat it across all 3 senatorial districts of the state. These contracts are all about filling up gully sites and making life a whole lot safer for the people of Kogi State. Let's take you on a trip to some of these erosion-prone communities.
The heavy flash floods that ravaged many communities in Kogi State several years ago left in their trail a tale of woes, anguish and sorrow for many people in the affected communities. Farmlands were destroyed, houses washed away, and several lives lost to the natural disaster, which is not peculiar to Kogi State but more devastating in its communities, especially those on floodplains and those on the banks of the river Niger and Benue. Before 2016, previous government in the state paid little or no attention to these challenges until the APC government intuitively changed the narrative by turning the woes of the people into joy, their fears into strength, and nightmares into confidence. Eight years after some consistent and remarkable intervention by the Yahaya Bello administration, the Usman Ahmed Ododo government is embarking on another round of intervention, taking the initiative a notch higher, this time with about 30 billion naira earmarked to end the sufferings of the people in partnership with the World Bank.
Flooding is another major environmental challenge that the state is facing. Anytime there is flooding issue in the country, Kogi State appears to have a very large, do I call it lion share of it. I think it's still fresh in our memory, that of 2021, 2022, and to some extent that of 2023. You actually know what happened. The whole world is aware. So flooding is a major environmental challenge that the state is facing. And degradation of our forests again. You see, the forests are being rapidly depleted as a result of human activities. The areas that were some years back appear as a forest, today if you go to that place, it's like a desert place. The two major rivers in the country, we have our own share. And fortunately again, Lokoja, Kogi State is where these two river bodies meet, and we call them the confluence point. So that is why Kogi at times is referred to as the confluence state. You can understand that the rivers are becoming shallower. You see, they are becoming shallow. And that is why any little flooding, the river banks will be overflooded. They are getting dried. For instance, one major factor, reasons or measure that can be in place to safeguard these rivers is by kind of, how do I call it, this desilting of a thing. By the time the sands are dug out, then that will create a bigger space where the waters will be. You understand?
The civil works contract will be done across the 3 senatorial districts, filling up erosion sites at Etahi in Okene local government, Omigbo Gully in Kaba Bunu local government area, and Olubuojo Gully site in Ankpa local government area.
The current administration of Alhaji Usman Ododo is committed to solving so many problems that are inherent in the state. And one of such problems is erosion menace. So many communities are being devastated by the problem of erosion. You know, you cannot do everything at the same time. And that is why certain communities have been identified, especially the most affected communities. One of such communities is that of Emigbo in Kaba, Etahi in Okene, and Ankpa in Ankpa area. These are areas that the communities have been affected seriously by erosion menace. And if nothing is done to salvage these problems, a lot more will continue to happen negatively to these communities. And that is why the government of Alhaji Usman Ododo has put in place measures in partnership with ACRISA, which is a World Bank project, to see how those problems can be solved. And putting the whole thing together, I think it's just about 29-point-something billion naira. This is to tell you how large, how colossal the problem is. And by God's grace, by the time the project is executed, the communities around this place will have a very big relief.
The topography of the state may be a major challenge owing to its proximity to the coastlines of rivers Niger and Benue. These affected communities have suffered greatly from the devastating effects of gully erosion, which has led to monumental loss of lives and property. That explains why Governor Ododo's team is insisting on finding a lasting solution to the challenge. We move from one community to another, feeling the pulse of the people, understanding their past experiences, especially when the unwanted guest sends them out of their homes. They are obviously happy with intervention from the state government.
The Etahi erosion has caused havoc to us in the time past. For the past 10 years plus, we have been struggling with the erosion problem. And Honestly speaking, most people have even evacuated. Those people living alongside the erosion site have even evacuated, the area. Honestly speaking, we are immensely grateful to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo. We want to actually appreciate him for this kind gesture. In fact, out of his own magnanimity, in fact, we are overwhelmed that is coming to touch the lives of Etahi community.
The story is the same here, just like in the two other senatorial districts. The foundation of some houses is already threatened, fences swept, and residents forced to abandon their property to seek shelter elsewhere. But the intervention of the Ododo administration is a saving grace for them all. They are now waiting anxiously for the civil engineering work to begin in earnest.
We thank God for bringing him to us by this period.
We are so very excited that our community is coming to be in development also. So give thanks to Almighty Allah that make these things happening now. May Allah be with them all.
The spread of the projects across the three senatorial districts of the state is further demonstration of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo's commitment to fulfill his campaign promise of even development of all the various parts of Kogi State.
Absolutely. Governor Ododo is really showing that he's got his people's backs, especially those living in flood-prone areas. Next up on our list of stories, we've got what feels like a homecoming for Governor Usman Ododo. Picture this. He pays a visit to the Ogbogoro community, and guess what? He rolls up his sleeves and joins them for prayers to mark the end of Ramadan. And after the prayers, the governor stayed back to catch up with his constituents. And guess what he's telling them? He's all about making sure their needs and the needs of every single person in the state are right at the top of his to-do list, no matter what. Now that's what I call leadership with heart.
It's a homecoming of sorts for Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo as he arrives in his hometown, Ukpoburo, in Okene local government area of the state. Even though the visit is unofficial, a large crowd is here to celebrate the end of Ramadan and also welcome the governor back to his country home. The Eid prayer marking the end of Ramadan is held, and top government officials, including the immediate past governor of the state, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, are here to celebrate the end of the Islamic fasting month.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
After the prayers, Governor Ododo speaks to the congregation on the need to stand by the teachings of the fasting season, embrace peace, and show love to one another.
A month of Ramadan is a month that teaches us patience, empathy, love, and understanding within and among our people. As we mark the end of this Ramadan, I urge each and every one of us to carry forward the lesson we learned in this month of Ramadan. Let us continue to practice kindness, generosity, love, and understanding in our daily life. This month of Ramadan is a month that teaches us to remember those that are less privileged or less fortunate than us, and enable us to extend hands of fellowship to those that is in need. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our father, GCFR, for his sincere and purposeful leadership under his initiative of renewed hope.
From here, the governor moves to the heart of the town, where another large crowd of supporters welcomed him with pomp and ceremony. He is no doubt delighted to be home and also happy that the people are out there to appreciate his successor, Alhaji Yahya Adoza Bello. Governor Ododo appreciates their kind gestures and support during the campaign with a promise to always work in the interest of everyone in the state.
We have come to this wonderful community called Upogoro community, my fatherland, my motherland, and my own land. I have come to celebrate with my people, to show them that I belong to this community and I will remain committed to the welfare and the peace of this community. I want to sincerely appreciate each and every one of you for your support, for the love you displayed in the last general election, and let me assure you that this government will continue to work for the interest of our people.
Another issue that is of paramount interest to the governor is the assurance that perpetrators of recent attacks in Omala area of the state will be made to face the wrath of the law. He says the safety of everyone in the state remains his priority, and he will not leave anything to chance in ensuring that Kogi State remains one of the safest states in the country.
The crisis in Bagana Omala local government has not just started today. It has been there for over 45 years ago, to be precisely 1978. And we are doing our best to make sure peace is restored within the area. As I speak with you today, the suspected sponsors have been arrested. Investigations are ongoing. They are giving us useful information, and as soon as we are done with that investigation, the report will be made known to the public.
Without mincing words, Governor Ododo is obviously poised to make Kogi State the toast of everyone by ensuring that he fulfills all his electoral promises to the people.
Now, let me tell you something. Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo is not just about making promises. He's out there making things happen and changing lives for the better. And guess what? We've got one more exciting story to wrap things up. And this one is all about education. Have you ever heard that Kogi State is one of the few states in Nigeria that boasts state-owned universities in every single senatorial district? Pretty impressive, right? And you know why? It's all about the vision of the past government and the current governor, who have made education a top priority to lift up their people. Our next report takes a deep dive into Governor Ododo's big plans for education sector. We'll also look at how the state government is carrying on the legacies of the previous administration.
Education is not just a priority in Kogi State, but a pathway to a brighter future. A future that is driven by visionary leaders ready to unlock the doors to a world of endless possibilities. The journey of educational transformation in Kogi State begins with the vision of Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo and the legacy left by his predecessor, Alhaji Yahaya Adoza Bello. Under the leadership of Alhaji Yahaya Bello, the education sector witnessed a remarkable transformation, and one of the success stories of his government was the establishment of model schools across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, providing modern facilities and quality education to students from all walks of life. Today, the Kogi State government, under the leadership of Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo, has not only identified the importance of quality education in driving development, but has also seen the need to embark on ambitious initiatives that will consolidate the foundation laid by his predecessor. The APC government in Kogi is investing in higher education, as evident in the establishment of prestigious Confluence University of Science and Technology in Osara and the Kogi State University in Kaba. These institutions not only offer diverse academic programs, but also serve as hub of innovation and knowledge creation, nurturing the next generation of leaders and professionals.
What we are trying to do, especially in the primary and secondary education sector, is to bring back the glory years of education. To people who are in their 50s and above, they will clearly recall that there used to be a time when what you needed to survive was just a very sound secondary school education. If you go through primary education and you make it through secondary education, you can almost compete with some of the graduates that we are producing today. It is because of the type of checks and balances that existed in those days. But beyond that, we are going deeper into capacity building, training and retraining of our workforce. Because you can only give what is within you. We are very mindful of that. So we are going to be recruiting more teachers. We started the process of recruitment. We are going to be recruiting them, many more teachers for the primary and the secondary school system. We are going to be training them. We are going to be retraining them. They will then ensure that we do proper monitoring and inspection so that we can evaluate where the system truly is. So we believe very much that if we are able to do that on a sustainable basis, then the glory years that we want to bring back will be easily realizable.
But the commitment to education didn't end there. Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo has continued his legacy. The Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, affirms that Governor Ododo's actions speak volumes. From his words to tangible initiatives, education remains a top priority.
It's a government of continuity and consolidation. And the new governor, Alhaji Usman Ododo, has told me in clear terms that rather than reduce the intensity, we are actually going to pop up the volume. We are going to ensure that schools are going to enjoy massive facelift, rehabilitation, and renovation. We have started already. We have started by changing the face of our secondary school system. You are aware of GYB model colleges, model science secondary schools that we developed, and the concept is to deepen the STEM philosophy. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics philosophy, whereby we make our students to deliberately and intentionally focus on the sciences, so that from the word go, as soon as they get into the university, they already have an idea, a clear idea of what they want to become in life. So, and those schools are coming up, and the pictures are abound everywhere. We have them We are building 9 of those schools, 1 per federal constituency. There are 9 federal constituencies in Kogi State, and we are going to ensure that, now I think presently we are building 6. I think it's only 3 federal constituencies that we have left, and it's already in the works for us to commence building of the remaining 3. Now, beyond the new structures, we now want to go down to the schools that are already existing. We are going to renovate them. We are going to fully equip them with laboratory equipments and library items so that our students have what it takes. Let me tell you what we're trying to do in a nutshell. We want to give parents the power to make choices.
The consensus is that education is not just a dream, but a reality in Kogi State. Thanks to the visionary leadership of Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo and the enduring legacy of Alhaji Yahaya Bello. Together, they are shaping a future where every student has the opportunity to thrive and succeed.
And that's the show, everyone. Thank you so much for spending a part of your time with us. I hope you enjoyed every bit of what we served you, as much as I did. Join us next time for another interesting episode of the program. Until then, I am Mimi Aderibigbe. It's bye for now.